A man sent my best friend to rock bottom, so I made sure he could never love again. Arya was the type of girl that every baby and small animal immediately loved. So when she started going out with Troy, an ex-employee of my starter company, I strictly told her not to. Because even though me and Troy were technically friends, I knew what he was like. He once told me that he was thinking of breaking up with his girlfriend of 2 years because she didn't have naturally blonde hair. Meanwhile, Charlotte Stokely, his favorite porn star at the time, did. And once Troy makes a decision, it's like speaking to a brick wall. So the following week, he was single. And that's how Arya became his target. Now you may be wondering why we were friends in the first place. Well, Troy was the only friend I had left who still lived in his mom's basement and didn't have a job or a degree. Honestly, I was the only good thing in his life. And I was scared that if I ever cut him off like everyone else, he would unalive himself and put me in the note. So unfortunately, we stayed in contact. And on one of his late night benders, he did what he jokes as the Instagram method. It's basically where you scroll through all of your Instagram suggested and follow every girl you see. That's where Arya got hooked and baited. And because I was ashamed of my friendship with Troy, Arya had no idea I knew him until their first date together, that is. She FaceTimed me the next day gushing. I met this guy and he was so cool. He said he is going to be a millionaire soon and he told me I was beautiful. I instantly knew it was Troy. I debriefed her on everything. His body count of 50, his 100% failure rate of every relationship and talking stage, his countless addictions. But Arya was the type to see the best in people, even if there wasn't any. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, I was blocked on everything. I checked in with her female friends and they said they were too. That's when I knew Troy had caught his next victim. And after 3 months, I tried to get in contact. I texted her mom asking if she was okay. I even got in contact with her brother. But Troy had everyone fooled because they both told me to stop being jealous and leave their relationship alone or they'd file charges. That's when I knew it was a waiting game. Fast forward to a year later when I got the text. It was Troy. No, hello, how are you? Nothing, just one message. There's so many beautiful women out there. I still want Arya to be my girlfriend, but I want to F other girls and never plan a date again. Jackpot. I replied saying he was right and he deserved all the experiences that life had to offer. That idiot ate it up. And 20 minutes later, he broke up with her. As soon as he did, I went over to Arya's apartment. The first thing she did was hug me and tell me everything. She had nothing. Troy told her to drop out of college, to quit her job, to block all her friends. TBH. I was about to ask her how she could be so stupid, but then she said the words that still make my hands shake. Troy was abusing her in every way possible. In a single year, my best friend had everything stolen from her, including her innocence. Rage boiled my blood. And being a business owner, my brain is basically wired to think about everything as a long-term investment. So this was no different. I thought about the path Troy was on, how it would only lead him to prison, or worse, a deadbeat loser that society would be better off publicly executing. So at that moment, I decided to do the best thing for him. I had to send him to rock bottom. But first, I told Arya she could work for me and I would pay her double until she got back on her feet. Her face immediately lit up and she promised to never talk to Troy again. Perfect, because Troy may have had her and everyone else fooled, but I knew him and I knew his weakness. Pretty girls and the devil's lettuce. That same day I asked Pia, my head of sales, if she wanted to take down a douchebag with me. She said yes. Together we crafted the perfect dating app account, one that showed she was open for business but still had her V card, just the way Troy liked it. Arya told me he wouldn't move on so fast, but I knew better. And after just an hour, Pia got a like from Troy. She opened the conversation talking about how unfair it is that men have to pay for the first date. He replied instantly. After 2 days of texting and FaceTime calls, it was time to strike. She told him she was just visiting the area, but she didn't live in NYC. She lived in Poland where the devil's lettuce is extremely cheap. And when he was already saying yes to moving in with her, I laughed until my ribs felt like they were going to jump out of my body. She told him the devil's lettuce was super cheap over there, and that's when he texted me. I thought he had figured me out, but luckily he was just asking to borrow money for a work trip. I sent it straight away, and immediately he texted Pia a screenshot of his one-way plane ticket. It wasn't until he was completely stranded at the airport in the middle of the most rural and racist part of Poland that we both blocked him on everything. But unfortunately, Troy is a cockroach who can survive anywhere. And a year later, he came back ready to destroy everything I had worked for. Full story on channel, link below.